All right, folks, we are back home. We got plenty of time to poke around and explore a little bit before getting in a tree this evening. So let's go see what we can find. If I can find my keys. Show y'all around the home place a little bit. So we're gonna head out here to the back. There's a bunch of big old live oaks out here that are dropping acorns like crazy. There's been a tremendous mass crop this year, and so as I said in the last video, that's good and bad, because it's not really, there's no little one place that really concentrates the deer. But here we've got, there's this big bedding area back here that's there's not a lot of food, and so the deer bed up in there, and then they come out. They'll come out into the pastures in the evenings, and then also get underneath these live oaks to eat the acorns. So there's one out here that's got a big branch that I like to get up there and sit on. And you don't need a tree stand or anything, just climb right up and sit on the branches. They're so big and wide that you can get up there and basically just walk around. Well, hell, that ain't no good. This big tree here's got a really nice, big, broad branch up there. Climb up and sit on. The deer come out of this thick area here, and they'll come out here and get this clover, feed under these live oaks. I've spent countless hours in these trees as a kid. This fern up here is called resurrection fern, because when we go a long period without rain, it shrivels up and dries up, and it'll look absolutely dead. It turns brown. But as soon, I mean, like within minutes of getting a rain, this stuff just comes back to life. Nice, really lush and green. It's pretty cool, and it grows all on these branches on all these live oaks down here. Oh, that's pretty nice, actually. I think that might be the best deer stand I ever sat in. Oh, well, as much as I'd love to sit here in this tree for the rest of the evening, I think I'm gonna have to get down and go to a different stand. The wind is just not right for here. There's a big bedding area back over here, and the wind's just blowing right into there. I'm never gonna see anything if I stay here. But not too far from here, I've got another stand that we hung the other day. There's a live oak there that's dropping acorns. There's a little persimmon tree. And then the deer are also coming out into the pasture here, getting this new clover, all this new ryegrass. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good chance, and the wind is right for that stand. Lots of tracks under here. That's just, the wind's not good. There's a beaver pond up here. There's a line of live oaks running right down the side of it. There's a good deer track right there. What are the wood ducks up to? Fair number in there. So on this edge of this beaver pond, ever so often you'll find these just piles of muddy vegetation. If you pick it up and smell it, it's got this really interesting kind of musky, sweet smell to it. But these are castor mounds. This is how the beaver marks their territory. They're extremely territorial. But they'll take vegetation and mud off the bottom and come and deposit it up on the banks. And then they have this gland in their rear end that excretes castor. And interestingly enough, castor was once one of the main ingredients in perfumes. So there you go, fun fact for the day. Beaver butt juice perfume. That's an interesting concept. Old beavers have been in here working on these trees. So a lot of people think beavers build ponds so that they'll have a place to fish, but beavers don't eat fish. They're actually vegetarians, and primarily they'll eat the inner bark of trees, the cambium. And so a lot of times around these beaver ponds, you'll find where they fall trees and the whole tree will be barked because that's what they're eating. The reason that they build the ponds is for security. They build the ponds and then they build their lodge right out in the middle of them. And then also the beaver ponds, when they expand throughout the woods, it gives them places where they can access more trees, more food, and then also be in their secure environment. You know, if a beaver's up on land, he's not a very agile creature, but you get him in water and he's plenty safe. Oh, look at that. I think it's pretty solid. So this is a kind of cool piece of Florida history. This is what's known as a cat face. This is probably an old slash pine being down here in the swamp like this. But this was part of the naval stores industry back in late 1800s, early 1900s. What they would do is they'd come in here and they'd cut these big scars into these pines and then tack these little metal fins on there in kind of a pattern, a chevron pattern. And so the pitch or the sap would come out of these and collect and run down those fins into a cup down here at the base. And early in the industry, all those cups were made out of ceramic, and then later on they moved to metal cups. But you can sometimes, every now and then you can still find some of those cups, but most of them have been picked up by now, or the metal ones have rotted away. But they would make turpentine with the pitch out of these trees, and it was used in the naval industry. It was used to tar ships, patch up holes, preserve ropes and things like that. So it was a huge, huge industry all throughout the coastal plain, southern coastal plain. But these old trees are becoming few and far between. Look at this. There's tons of this all along the edge of this beaver swamp here. This is witch hazel. You can make teas with the bark and leaves. This stuff is actually used commercially quite a bit for medicinal plant. It's been shown to reduce skin irritation. It's effective in the treatment of hemorrhoids, fights acne, alleviates scalp sensitivity, can soothe the sore throat, wards off certain types of viral infections. Finding all sorts of fun stuff today. So here's an interesting plant. This is American beautyberry. It's got these little kind of lavender colored berries on it. But this stuff has actually been scientifically proven to repel mosquitoes. And I don't remember what the compound is in here. I would think of it if I could remember what the Latin name of it is. Anyway, but it's actually pretty effective. I've used this in the summertime to repel mosquitoes. Smear it on you. It doesn't last long, but while it's on you, it actually is pretty doggone effective. Deer tracks all out there. So I'm set up right on the edge of our pasture here. We've got a little live oak out here that's dropping acorns. There's a little persimmon tree here that's dropping. And then back here behind me, there's a big tie swamp where the deer like to bed up. The wind is perfect for this stand, which is why I left that live oak over there. It was just, I really like that place. But the wind was not good for there. The wind is really good for here. It's blowing out in the pasture, away from the bedding area. So the deer like to come out in the evenings right in here, feed along in this pasture here. There's a pretty good trail coming out right here in front of this stand. So I really like this stand set up here. It's right in this little group. I've got 3 white cedars, this really thick cover, and I've got just a couple of shooting lanes trimmed out of this thing. You can't even, if you're looking at this from the outside, you can't even tell there's a stand in here. When you've got plenty of cover around your stand like this, it makes it a lot easier to get set up when those deer are coming in, get in position to shoot. But we're gonna spend the evening in here, and I think we got a pretty good chance of seeing something come out this evening. like I hit her right in the shoulder. It looked like I think I got enough penetration. But, I mean, it went smack into her shoulder. She was quartered to me hard. But that's the only shot I had. I think it was enough to do the trick, though. I'm gonna give her a little bit. Some people choose to believe that being a hunter and having a deep love for nature are mutually exclusive. I found just the opposite to be true. All the best naturalists I've ever known have been hunters, and all the best hunters, naturalists. The two go hand in hand, like ducks and water, or perhaps beavers and perfume. All right, guys, so I'm down from the stand. I've given her probably 45 minutes or so. So here's the deal. We've got a live oak right here that's dropping. Got a little persimmon tree right here. I'm right on the edge of our cow pasture. And just the other day, Finn and I put a ladder stand right in that little cedar tree there. It's tucked in there pretty good. You can't really see it. But the deer have been coming, hitting up the live oak. The arrow, she was quartered hard to me, and I hit her in the shoulder. Didn't get great penetration, but I think, cross my fingers, I'm hoping that it was enough. I think it was enough, but we're gonna have to see. She entered the woods right here, and I don't think I got enough penetration to get an exit wound, so I'm not expecting to find a whole lot of blood. But down here in this tie swamp, we ought to be able to find some tracks and follow those tracks. Yep, here's our track right here. Nice. You can see her tracks right there going off this way. Still haven't found my, oh hell, there she is right there. Sweet, she didn't go nowhere. Holy crap. Thank you, darling. Nice young doe. That was a hell of a shot, but it went right through the shoulder blade. Got a little white blaze on her face, look at that. Oh man, these little Florida deer are so small. Got her out of the swamp. Let's see how much penetration I got. So the arrow went in, it was an angle about like this. Arrow went in right here. And so we got probably 10 inches. It's more than I thought, but enough to get it done. She didn't go but probably 40 yards. I didn't hear a crash or anything. I thought I was gonna be having to look for her for a while, but squeezed it in, double lung. But anyway, I'm very, very thankful to have this deer. This is the first deer I've shot in Florida in a long, long time, probably 15, maybe even 20 years, long time. But nice, pretty little deer. Next week I think we're going to be going back to Georgia, and then after that I'm flying back up to Idaho to do our late season whitetail hunt up there. So I hope you'll follow along with us, and we will see you guys on the next adventure. She is going to eat good. Beautiful.